became the book, This Momentary Marriage, A Parable of Permanence, which is where we'd send you to learn more about marriage following this book. We'd also want to point you to a 30-day devotional for young married couples called Happily Ever After, Finding Grace in the Messes of Marriage, by John Piper and other contributors to desiringgod.org. For Christians, talking about ministry together, including hospitality, literally in the New Testament, love for strangers, is essential preparation. Marriage is big. What you're considering or preparing for here is no trifle. Don't imagine you can just add marriage as another layer to an already busy life. Marriage demands a full restart. Reevaluate your commitments. Check your priorities. Rethink your normal. This book and other resources like it can help. It will be well worth your time to ask difficult questions and think hard about the answers. For your joy, the good of others, and the glory of the church's groom. David Mathis, Executive Editor, desiringgod.org. 1. Don't waste your engagement. This chapter has been adapted from episode 987 of Ask Pastor John, a daily audio program in which John Piper answers tough theological and pastoral questions. Pastor John, I'm getting married in exactly 100 days. I'm 21 years old, and my bride-to-be is 18. I'm excited to take on the role of loving a woman like Christ did the church. But as the day draws nearer and nearer, I am made more and more aware of my need for wisdom and help to become a husband capable of loving a wife well. I'll be re-listening to all the episodes on marriage. But with all that being said, what advice do you have for me? What are the most important questions we need to ask, and likely are not, due to the rushing excitement of the engagement phase? Discuss the hard things now. The more issues you can talk about together before marriage, the better. It is far more frustrating and threatening to think of something after you are married that you should have talked about beforehand. So don't shy away from any issue or conversation with your fiancé because you think this is a good time to try to avoid conflict. Now is the time to have every conflict you can have that might come up later. If you think that you can dodge conflicts now so that there will be a more opportune time later, you are mistaken. If you think you should avoid conflicts now because a blissful engagement is the path to a blissful marriage, you are badly mistaken. Instead, this is what engagement or courtship is designed for: maximum exposure to what each of you thinks, believes, feels, and does, whether habitually or occasionally. No secrets. Nothing held back. You don't want marriage to be based on ignorance, but on trust in the face of all truth. While the topics covered in the 6 chapters of this book could prompt hours of fruitful conversation and possibly some constructive conflict along the way, don't miss Appendix 1 either, where you will hear more than 50 short, specific questions in 11 categories that many couples have found helpful. Spiritual leadership. The next thing I would say is that these are golden months in which to set patterns of spiritual leadership. Take the initiative to read the Bible with your bride-to-be, to pray and think and study and talk together with her about all kinds of biblical and spiritual realities. Make sure the two of you are sufficiently on the same theological page. That is not an artificial or secondary expectation. If the two of you are going to pull together shoulder to shoulder in marriage for some great purpose, which is what marriage is for, you must be pulling in the same direction. That is, you must be seeing God in the same way, and seeing Christ, and seeing the Holy Spirit, and seeing faith, and seeing love and salvation, and heaven and hell, and Satan and sin, and holiness and obedience, seeing all these things in essentially the same way.